Hello, gorgeous soul. It is Quinn, and I just wanted to give you a quick heads up that the awesome Joyful Living show you are about to hear is focused on business, especially living joyfully while creating your dreams and growing your business to the next level. It's jam-packed with incredible content that I know you'll love. However, if you are in business, just listening to this will only be giving you the tiniest percent of the support, inspiration, and tools available in my community. So, pause right now and make sure you are part of my free Soulful Business and Branding Facebook group to get full access to the whole enchilada I have there, which will help you create all your heart and soul is craving in a way that is both joyful and wildly successful. Now, get ready for a powerful episode of Joyful Living, and I will see you in the Soulful Business and Branding Facebook group.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't be afraid when the sky is growing gray. Don't lose faith, those clouds will drift away. Let the sun shine on through. Let the sun shine on through. Let the sun shine on through. Let the sun shine on you. Come on, come on, come on.
Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to Joyful Living. I'm so excited to have you here today because we have on the show one of my favorite people in this world right now. And I don't say that lightly, but this guy has become such a dear friend and just somebody that I look up to and am continually inspired by, as he is just an absolute Jedi in online marketing and a specialist in that. He's worked with some of the biggest names in network marketing, which in my opinion, and I don't know if you'd back this up as well, but I feel like that is one of the hardest businesses to really market well and sell well online. So he has just rocked it there, as well as with a lot of powerful industry leaders and individuals and companies. He is also a personal development coach, and he's a father of two. And so please join me in welcoming on Kenneth Todd. Kenneth, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here.
Quinn, thanks so much. That was awesome. I feel embarrassed. I feel humbled. Thank you.
One of the reasons why I really love you, actually, because so much of this online business world has so much ego dripping all over in it. And truly, with your background and the things that you've done, I mean, you could be there. You could walk into a space with ego, but you always walk in ready to serve. How can I help? How can I make a difference? How can I make things better for everybody involved? And so it's just a real treat to have you on. And
Well, it's a treat to be here, so thank you. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. So one of the first questions that we always ask any of our special guests right away is, what does joyful living look and feel like to you? And the reason why we ask this is because this whole show is built on the premise that there is no such thing as one size fits all joy or one size fits all happiness, right? That if we get the car and we lose the 20 pounds and we have the smoking hot wife or whatever it might be, that equals happiness, right? And so many of us have been wrestling that definition, whatever it might be in our own worlds. And so I love having everybody who comes on the show really redefine what is joyful living to you, because that's what's important, finding, well, what's Kenneth's joy, right? And making sure to anchor to that.
Yeah, so that's a great question. It's not one that's easily answered, but and if you had asked me what that was 20 years ago, it'd be different to what it was 10 years ago, to what it was 5 years ago, to what it was a year ago. So for me, I tell you what joyful isn't. It isn't the acquisition of something. It isn't recognition. It isn't a certain status. It isn't a certain level. And you guys are network marketers on there. So to give you an example, it wouldn't be, joy is not some rank I would have achieved. It's not that I've worked with certain people in the past. In fact, it's just, for me, joy is being content and knowing that I'm aligned with purpose and that I'm creating something bigger than me. And so what do I mean by that is, like, given that I'm originally from South Africa, is I'm a first generation sort of, well, I'm an immigrant, right? So my kids are first generation Americans. They're born here. And so the only thing that's important to me right now, well, not the only thing, the main thing that's important to me in terms of why I get up and why I do business and what I'm seeking is to create a legacy, to say, hey, our father came here with no support and, had these challenges, whatever, built his own business. He created this, this is what he did for the community. Hey, this was our grandfather, or this was our great grandfather. Whether I achieve that or not is irrelevant. The most important thing is that I try every day. And so, and then also, you want to go deep straight away? So, like yesterday was an interesting day for me. I'll give you an example how joy comes into my life. So, yesterday woke up, did my normal thing, write out my goals and have my journal in front of me. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I usually plan out my day the night before, so I know I can come in with focus and focus on certain things. And so I just finished breakfast and I get a text from somebody that says, hey, I don't know how to respond to this, but someone's been complaining that you've gone AWOL, that you disappeared, right?
Wow.
And so that was legitimate. So that was true. I'm not going to hide from that. But so I had just been so busy that I hadn't responded to somebody for 5 days. Okay, so it's not in my world, it's not a big drama, right? 5 days, and that's including the weekend, by the way. Okay, and so just said some things that to be honest annoyed me, because I had given them a discounted rate. I had done something extra for their wife. I had done something extra for another business of theirs, kind of thing. So I just thought, man, so like 5 days and you're going to complain. And there were some things that he said which sort of annoyed me, but I took that as personal growth, right? That's my thing. You can't control outside sort of things. But it was just one of these things, these things that are so small, but it like bugs you. And it actually put me in a mood, right? So I was out of my vibe, out of my normal thing. And so, but what I realized is like, okay, you can't control what other people think of you. You can't control what other people say about you or do, whatever. But what you can control, so it's like controlling the uncontrollable. So it's about saying, okay, well, I can't control that person saying certain things. That's fine. I can't control them reacting there. But what I can control is never having that person say to me that I've disappeared, that I've gone AWOL, that I haven't answered his emails. And he had basically one voicemail, right, and 3 emails that I hadn't connected over 5 days. So anyway, it happens. But so what I did was straight away is that, so I went to my team and I said, right, we're going to implement something right now. We're going to highlight in our spreadsheet our 3 key accounts, put them in colors, and every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you will email those people and make sure that they understand exactly what the next steps are in their business, and exactly, if they need any help, if they're confused, whatever. And that'll be on top of my regular connection with them. So straight away, I've taken that off the table. So that'll never happen. So, and then, so in the evening is, once I finished my work, I then went for a walk around the neighborhood, right? And so during that, I put in the work, but there was still that sort of, and you probably think, what's this all got to do with marketing? But it shows you the whole mindful marketing approach, right? So I implemented those strategies in my business right then yesterday. And then so I have the key accounts and the regular accounts. So we take that off the table. So nobody can ever complain again. The only way they can complain is if their stuff goes to spam. And so I've eliminated that. So that's a marketing decision. But then the other side is the personal decision, right? That negative energy stays with you if you don't get rid of it. So I just went for a walk around the neighborhood in the dark and just go to a place like, where did you feel that same way in your life? And just, you probably resonate with this, but like, did you feel that that same way as like when somebody spoke to you, your ex-boss, your partner, your teacher at school, so when was it? And your mind will bring up certain instances, and it might seem weird. You think, why am I thinking that? Because that's exactly, there's memories in your body. So, I had to go through, and put myself, I had certain memories that came from, past businesses when I worked in investment banking, and some two situations from childhood. So I just try to put myself in that situation. How did I feel, when this adult was like talking down to me, or so it brings us certain feelings, right? Because the normal thing is your mind kicks in and says, oh, you're not good enough, you're worthy, this is too hard, people are so crazy.
Yeah.
I don't want to blame anybody, right? Because blaming is an excuse. You've got to take control. So when I released that stuff and I said, okay, those are your truths. No, they're not. Replace those truths with what? I'm worthy. I'm good enough. This is part of growth. This is, making you a better person. This is making you a better business owner, make you better at marketing, make you better at customer service. To me, that is what brought me joy. Right. And so the joy is there, not the amount of clients that I have, not the amount of money in my bank account, not what clothes I'm wearing. If I had hair, not that I had my hair done, spent whatever, $200 on a fancy hairdo, whatever. That's not what brings me joy. The joy is in the daily life cycle, right? And it's about improving ourselves and improving our business. And that's what always going to help to make an impact on other people.
Man, just drop the mic now, Kenneth. That was so good and so powerful. Thank you for sharing that.
Okay.
I'm seriously like, man, so many gold nuggets. Where to even sink into. But I was feeling into this idea of just the daily life cycle, and in connection with that, it's so fascinating because I know you've worked with a lot of high level people in lots of industries, and so
Yeah.
you see like here again, it really is their daily life cycle that makes the difference of whether or not they're happy. Also, it's not their level of success. It's not their, like, it's very easy for us to hear from like somebody that we're like, maybe we don't idealize them or idolize them. And they're like, I'm just happy because of my, just the everyday things. But there's a part of us in the back of our mind that's like, I don't know, it could be happier over there though. Do you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I know, I would love if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit of your story of really what helped bring you into more of this kind of a reality and a daily lifestyle where you are more intentional and mindful and really anchored to what matters most. Would you mind sharing?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't one decision or one event. I do remember just being, from a young age searching, just being, I've always been a deep thinker and searching for more meaning. When I was a young child, sports was everything to me, and that's where I found my ability to express myself. My father passed away at a young age, and so I pretty much grew up with my mother raising 8 kids, me being the baby, and just being self-sufficient, right? Looking after myself, not being in a place of, being, to be honest, being dirt poor at one stage, but I was happy. And so, I could express myself, and I found meaning in life through my sports and through my friendships, etc. But as I got older and I went to the military for a year. We all had to in South Africa. And then I started studying and started working. I had this search for, there's got to be more to it than this, right? There's got to be more to just, going surfing and studying and working at a bar and partying and stuff and having the time of my life. Then I had long blonde hair, like halfway down my back. I was a complete surf rat. And so, from there, I just, I went into the regular thing, right? Is I didn't have money to go to university. I had to, I went to an uncle, borrowed some money from him. I was on a 6-month payment plan with him. And so I had to put myself through the university that I could afford. And so I studied economics and finance and business marketing, right? Business marketing. And so, and from there I went into an investment banking world. So, and I moved to London in 1995. I went to London for 6 years, and just to go travel and see the world. And there I started working for some of the biggest investment banks in the world, and that started my career. And that's what brought me to the US in 2001, just after September 11, is I came to manage a team here in the US. And then, I got promotions. And when I left in 2008, I had a $1 billion balance sheet under management, right? So, but I was unhappy there, right? So that the real sort of spiritual journey for me, where I really started searching, big time, was like 2006. Is I got pretty angry with the situation. And so this was me back then. So I thought it'd be a good idea. I was so frustrated with myself. I thought it'd be a good idea to punch the cabinet in the bathroom, and I broke my my finger. Right, so my knuckle went basically into the bottom of my hand. so I had to. It was like 10 o'clock at night. My wife was looking after the kid and like, "What are you doing? You're a fool," type of thing. So I said, "Okay, don't worry." So I drove myself to the hospital. The guy looked at me and said, "This is pretty bad. You're gonna have to go see a specialist." Anyway, I had to have an operation to put my knuckle back up. And so anyway, while sitting in that waiting room, I remember clearly is like, it's like you being angry was just your frustration with life, and I had a beautiful family, a lovely wife. I had money. I had the job that I wanted. And so everything was cool. But I was frustrated with my own unhappiness. And it was like from that moment, that was like a big thing. If you've ever read like Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, where he said he had that moment of enlightenment and he walked around for 2 years, like everything was just different. It was not as intense as that, but my life looked very different, from that point on. But then what ended up happening was, and I don't want to be just this all about me, right? But is I ended up getting sick for 5 years. And so, with Lyme disease. And so everything I built up, I mean, we were planning to move to Hawaii from Connecticut. I had just left the bank. I'd got a huge payout. They asked me to come back. I said, "I'll come back temporarily. For every week I work, you're going to pay me 3. They agreed to that. So they're going to have me back there for 3 months because nobody knew the work that I did. And so I would have gone back to work for 3 months and then left. We were going to go to Hawaii for 6 months. They would have paid me the entire time. At the end of that 6 months, they would have then had to pay me my severance package. So it was just like, everything was perfect. And it was my second week back. And then my world came crashing down. I had Lyme disease. And, one stage, we had like 2 houses. I lost everything I'd worked my entire life for. And so, but that's fine. And so when did I start living really intentionally is probably like 2 years before I got sick. And then being sick amplified it like unbelievably. But then I started my personal coaching business and I started my online business. But my online business was selling jigsaw puzzles online and toys and trains, right? So I had to create something from my bed, right? Because I said, what can I do?
Yeah.
I can't get a job. I'm sick. I've got to provide for my family.
Yeah.
So I started this personal coaching business, working with people that had Lyme disease. And I had a phenomenal mentor, for the entire 5 years. And then I studied under Bob Proctor for 1 year. And that's when I started my business. And then I had my marketing business. So these were 2 separate entities. Then, like, I think over the last 3 years, as I started combining, well, started thinking about it. That's why my company's name's Gaia Media, right? For that same sort of purpose. But I kept them separately, and I've been bringing them together slowly. And this year, the past year, I would say, when I started my Mindful Marketing Academy, which was a premium academy last January, that's when I really brought the two together. And so, yeah, that's how I live my life now, because they're not separate. As an entrepreneur, it's an extension of your life purpose, and you can't keep them separate. You can't be, in my opinion, I can't be a marketing guy here and a coach over here. It's, and it's all just meshes together, because as an entrepreneur, I don't stop thinking about my business. So I got to make sure that it's aligned with my beliefs and my life. Yeah. Because my family hear about it. I'm thinking about it while I'm showering. I'm thinking about it when I go to sleep. I think about it when I'm waking up. I think about it while I'm surfing. So I better do something that has meaning, right? Yeah. But that's enough about me, I guess.
No, thank you so much for sharing. It's so important to hear each other's stories, and especially like the how you figured it out, or the process kind of a piece, that it wasn't just like just one day I just decided I was just going to live intentionally, and so here I am.
Yeah.
It's rarely like that for anything.
It's very rarely like that, I think.
Yeah, and so I'd love, even maybe if we were able to shift gears a tiny bit and dive into more of this mindful marketing kind of a concept that you've coined. I have been so inspired by, especially in a world where you would, like, marketing has kind of got some sleazy terminology sometimes, where you think, oh, they're just trying to sell me, and they're just pushing. And that's a big reason why a lot of entrepreneurs don't market themselves well, I think, is they're so afraid of coming across as salesy, or it's all about me or what I'm doing. So
that was my problem.
What's that?
Yeah. I never wanted to be that ultimate, like, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but like, Americans invented selling and friggin' marketing, right? But I never wanted to be the dude that's like on the infomercial, right?
Yeah.
And I never wanted to be, but life throws at you, in my opinion, right? The universe, life, God, whatever you want to refer to it, throws you the right people, the right situations, the right events at the right time in your life that prepares you. So if I look back at all the clients that I've had from I've started my business, and even the business that I did in investment banking, how that's prepared me for here, it's perfect. I couldn't have it any other way. Right? So, in terms of that mindful marketing, sorry, did you have something else to say, or did I just interrupt you?
No.
Did I just take over?
No, I was even thinking maybe even we need to have you define it. Like, what does that mean to you, mindful marketing?
So mindful marketing is just being mindful of everything that you do, right? And so, mindfulness, to me, is like, typically I used to think of mindfulness as, the ultimate monk, right? Just sitting there quietly and being completely present. And to be honest, I'm not like that, and I'm not going to pretend to be. But I do try to be mindful. My wife reminds me all the time to be mindful. It's more than that. It's more than just being monk-like. So it's being mindful of everything that you do. So it's, if I take on a client, it might not be a healthy thing, but I tend to get emotionally invested. So because what I'm thinking of is, this is the way I try to think, is that person's given me their money. That person's going to sleep at night. They're excited about, hey, they've just got this Kenneth guy to come help them out. They're dreaming there about their family, their spouse next to them. Maybe I'm going to be able to retire my husband. Hey, this is so cool. This is what I've, been waiting for. This person's going to give me the system. This person's going to give me the guidance to help me with my business. So it's like, how can I make a positive impact for that person, right? And then it's also being mindful about when people complain, like that guy that I gave you the example right at the beginning. So being mindful about how I respond, about my actions, how can I improve my systems. It's what am I creating? Being mindful of the social media that I'm putting or the blog that I'm writing. Who am I writing this for? Who's going to read this? I think one of the biggest things, and I don't mean to criticize, like, you guys have network marketers on here, and one of the things.
And some of the audiences, but certainly not all.
Okay, cool.
We have all sorts of entrepreneurs and
Yeah. So entrepreneurs and network marketers, is sometimes you can become. Look, at the end of the day, we want to create successful businesses, right? We want to make money. We want to have fun. We want to create something special.
Yeah.
But we get caught in this trap of just focusing on enrollments and sales and stuff, right? So for me, it's just like, okay, that's important to me, but I don't want to be chasing this thing. I don't want to be on a hamster wheel, because the question I should be asking myself, and you guys should be asking yourself, is how can I add value today? How can I add value? If you want to make $1 million, if you want to make $500,000, you got a couple of options. You can go charge somebody $1 and go find 1 million people, right? So go add $1 worth of value to 1 million people, or you could go find 10 people and give them $100,000 of value, or 100 people and give them $10,000 of value, whatever. And so that's the question that you should be asking yourself, because if you can provide value, if you can provide solution to somebody and get yourself in front of enough people, then it'll work. And just some of the people that I've worked with, like I said, that have been perfect for me, is to watch extremely successful people just not living in joy, right? Creating something that's not, it's just a perception. It's just a facade. It's this thing on social media that they look so perfect and they look like everything's in harmony and balance. But the reality is, the telephone calls, the meetings behind the things is stress. It's anxiety. It's frustration. And these were perfect examples for me to say, okay, let me be mindful here. Is this the environment that I want to work in? No. Is this person somebody I'm going to hang out with after this call? No. Do I want to run my business like this? No. Okay, but I got to be mindful. This person's paying me. Let me do my work for them, but let me make those changes so I can move away. So, from a mindful marketing perspective, that's what it entails. And in terms of selling, look, you're going to have to put yourself out there and be a salesman, right? You do have to. When you're online, when you're speaking in front of a camera or in a microphone, you have to be it has to seem like 10 times, like you amplified 10 times in order for that message to come across. Because I'm not an extrovert. So, if I just try to sell something speaking like this, it's not going to work. So I have to get excited. It's just the way the human brain works. So you're going to have to push yourself out of that comfort zone. But sometimes it seems like, oh man, there's something so fake. This is not my real voice. It may appear like that to you, but it's not really like that to the other people. Right? But I think if you're authentic, if you speak to people's needs and wants, and you can clearly understand what that person is thinking about when they go to sleep at night, or what they're thinking about when they wake up in the morning, and speak to that and paint an image in their mind, because we think in images as humans, and you can show them a way to make that change. That's what's going to connect. That's what's going to, stand you out from all the hype that's out there. Right? And you don't have to go very far now. You scroll through your Facebook feed, and people like waving their hands, stop, turn up your volume. Why? Because they haven't written a headline that's going to capture people's attention. It's not connecting with me. Right? So if they wrote a good headline or chose the right image or had the right intro for video, they wouldn't have to wave their hands and say, stop, turn up your volume, right? You see that stuff. And it's also, we don't have to walk around pretending that our life is perfect and how awesome we are. You can just be yourself. I think that's what mindful marketing is: being authentic. How can I make an impact? How can I understand that person better? And So sometimes when you're starting off, your avatar might be yourself, or it might be your best customer, or it might be your worst customer, and say, this is the person that I don't want to speak to. So make sure whatever I'm writing down is exact opposite, so I don't attract that person into my life. Right?
Yeah. So what I want to just pause you and point out, or just connect in here, is that what it sounds to me like you're speaking to is that marketing is a skill set, right? Like knowing how to write a headline or knowing how to use your copy in a way that is going to work is a skill set. But the difference between doing it through massive hype and just like ego and intensity is using the skills and the strategies for being able to show up to serve in a bigger way, right? It's the attention behind it, maybe, or the focus. What would you?
Yeah. So hype might get you sales, right? Hype might get you business, but it's not going to continue. You got to deliver. At the end of the day, you have to deliver. So if you want to hype and that's your personality, go for it. If you like the dude on TV, ShamWow, and that's your personality, go for it. So that's also something I should have been clear on. I'm not telling everybody that they need to be like me, or they need to be like Gabby Bernstein or whatever, or Tony Robbins, whoever their sort of guru is. Just be yourself. But here's the thing: is somebody said to me the other day, online marketing is online marketing. Right? Somebody was complaining to me that, hey, online marketing is online marketing, and I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, because it's not. It's what they were trying to say is, well, if I do online marketing and I know how to do it, but what do you know about online marketing that I don't know? And so that's fine. And also, there's another thing right now. I mean, I use the service ClickFunnels, and so I'm a huge fan of ClickFunnels, the software. But I'm also, and as much respect as I have for Russell Brunson and that, but what I don't agree with is this perception that you're one funnel away, right? That's sort of their marketing slogan, and the idea behind that is, hey, just get a funnel and your business can just go. And it's not like that. It's not like that at all. And so I think there's a bit of disservice there in that selling, because marketing is tricky. This online stuff is tricky. It's difficult. But there's nothing in life that you're going to do that starts off easy, right? When you start learning how to walk, it's damn difficult.
Yeah.
It takes you a long time. To learn how to speak is damn difficult.
Yeah.
To learn how to do math and English and science or whatever. If you want to run a marathon, you don't just decide. There's very few people that can just say, hey, I'm going to run a marathon tomorrow and go for it, right? You go say, I'm going to run a marathon, like half a mile in, you think, jeepers, how the heck am I going to get like 26 miles? I can hardly breathe. Exactly. So, but then there's some people that are just naturally good at marketing. So in terms of, putting stuff out there, you just got to, every day is pitch up and just say, and be mindful and say, okay, well, how can I make an impact on other people's lives? But how can I make an impact in my business? I need to spend at least 10, 15 minutes every morning, not scrolling through the personal Facebook feed or surfing online, but going straight to YouTube or somebody's course or whatever, and spend 10, 15 minutes learning about how to write a good headline. Get an audiobook, download Audible, right? Learn about persuasion marketing, because there's so many different elements that tie it all in together, as you've seen with your courses, right?
Yeah.
Is this the right color? I mean, for you as a designer, there's colors, there's psychological elements to colors and the type of button, and then the style of the text, where you place the text. Then there's the headline, the subheading, the images that you use. All of these things are important. So it's little bits. Now, without overwhelming people, is you don't have to be a guru at every single thing. But if you could just learn a little bit about each thing, you'll become so much more effective. And everything's measurable online, right? So online doesn't lie. It has statistics. If you create a landing page or a sales funnel, or you do a Facebook ad, it tells you. It tells you how many people looked at your ad. It tells you how many people clicked. You know, if people commented, what's the cost per comment? What's the cost per click? What's the cost per lead? You know, what's the click-through rate? So if people, how many people are reading and then clicking the button? If that's low, then you know that people are stopping, they're reading your ad, but then they're not clicking. That means your ad's not compelling for them to say, I want to spend any more time here. So, and so you can always look at the data. And the reason why I love data is because it takes away the personal element. It takes away our feeling, oh, I can't do this. This is too hard. I'm not good enough. You know, my copywriting stinks. It's like, okay, this part isn't working. How can I change this? I don't know how to change it. Okay, go look online, see if you can find something. There's plenty pieces of information, or go get somebody to do it for you.
Yeah, and I think with some of these are such powerful insights. I'm so glad you're bringing light to, and so maybe if we kind of shifted into, hey, if you're really wanting to nail an online strategy, some things to consider beforehand. And one of the biggest things that I've been invaluably grateful for you in really pointing this out is just really having a long-term vision and a long-term commitment to it. Because I know when I first started working with you, I was like, okay, we're going to do this one funnel and then I'm going to be rich, and it's going to be, or, you know, not rich, but like, I'm going to be amazing.
Yeah. so that's the thing. I actually wrote a blog post yesterday, or the night before. Actually, I didn't write it. I lie. Actually, here's a tip for you guys. If you guys don't like writing, it's like I go into my notes on my phone, and then I just record it. Right. So that blog post was like 12 points. So I just recorded into notes, like one section, hit enter, another section, enter. Then I just airdrop it onto my Mac, copy and paste. But the thing is, it takes a little bit of getting used to, because the way that you type is different to the way that you speak.
Yeah.
So that's a good tip. You know, you can pretty much put out a long blog post pretty quickly.
Wow.
Okay? So just by copying and pasting. So yeah, in terms of a strategy, is not the only reason, but the main reason. If you have a good product, if you have a good service that you know people want, the only reason why you're not successful is people don't know about you. That's the reality. Right? So I could be the world's greatest marketer. And so I'll give you an example. So I was in a business relationship, which was a fun relationship, was a good relationship for the most part. But when I started my media business, my marketing business, for some reason, somehow, is at one stage I worked with a lot of therapists, and then I worked with a jeweler, and that sort of propelled me in the jewelry industry. So I worked with a lot of jewelers at one stage. I approached a lot of jewelers. They had good budgets. They're prepared to spend money, so it was really well. And so that's where and a lot of my marketing was done, you know, through YouTube videos and LinkedIn. Okay? And then I entered into this new relationship, and basically it was quite cool because I got to work with a lot of network marketers, right? And I thought, okay, this is actually better. Just the people that I was working with were just nicer to work with. There was a lot of people that, you know, and I became a business partner, and I did coaching programs, etc. So I was working day to day with people that I had a lot of commonality with, right? I liked their thinking, which is very different to like businesses. So like the jewelers that I was working with were like $10 million plus businesses, right? So, you know, it was a very like aggressive, old school male sort of, you know, whatever, just different vibes. So I liked this new vibe. So I changed my business model based on this relationship. But the mistake that I made, and it blindsided me, you know, is that I stopped marketing my business, right? Because the income was good, right? I was business partnership, we're doing training programs and stuff. Well, it appeared to be good, but and so then when I decided to walk away from that business, and it ended pretty quickly, is that I was like, hang on, I completely forgot to market myself. I'd become obscure, right? So where I'd once be, being prominent in LinkedIn and in the jewelry industry, I'd fallen away. Other people had come in and taken my place. So I'd become obscure. So that was a big lesson for me.
Wow.
And I was like, I got into panic for like, it was about 30 days, right? And then, but that's when I shifted my model again. But I had enough know-how on how to get back quickly. And so that was the thing for me back then, was like, you cannot be obscure. That was the biggest mistake I made when I started my business 10 years ago, right? Is that I was obscure. So it doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how good your product is. It doesn't matter how good your service is. If people don't know you and who you are, how are they going to find you? How are they going to buy your product? So your long-term strategy should be always this: how can I be seen? But in a positive way. Now, that doesn't mean that you got to be on Facebook 24/7 or Instagram or whatever your thing is, taking pictures of your lunch and, selfies and how great your life is, unless you are a lifestyle type of brand, unless that's your thing. Because there's plenty of women out there that do it successfully, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Right? So the first thing is, I need to be seen. I need to be visible. This thing here, this telephone, right? Okay. This is the television, the modern day television. So what used to be on your television, ABC, CBS, NBC, whatever, is now Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. That's the way that you need to start seeing this.
Even magazines, right? Like, who's magazines?
Yeah, exactly.
Office right now.
Yeah. So now this is a podcast, right? It's going to be, is this on iTunes or what?
Yeah, iTunes,
right?
Stitcher, and iHeartRadio.
Exactly. So now you have your own radio station.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine 15 years ago, you wanted to do this? You'd have to go try pitch something to a radio station and they would have kicked you out.
Right.
Not because your content's not good. Not because you don't have special people like me coming on. Just seeing if you're paying attention. And so, you can have this. You've got your own radio station. You want your own TV channel? Start a YouTube. It's free, right? You want to publish your own book? We'll go into Amazon Publishing. I think it's like $75 to publish your own book, right? And so you have these platforms, so you leverage them. But in order to leverage them, you have to understand, okay, who is my audience? Well, first of all, what are you? What do you stand for? How do you want to be known? Do you want to be known as, the salesperson, or, hey, oh yeah, she's the mom who does yoga with her babies, or, she's the mom who runs all the time and travels, or, she like Betty Rocker. I don't know if you guys want to see who does online marketing really effectively. Go check out the Betty Rocker. Okay, I love her stuff. I'm a huge fan of her stuff, and she's involved in a Facebook group that a program that I'm part of. So she comes on there from time to time, and she runs a extremely successful business. And but anyway, it's understanding who you are, how do you want to be known, and who your ideal audience is, and go out there and connect with them, right? And then start putting out good content and multiple layers of content. So you can't just think, I'm going to create one funnel. You see, because I heard something too, is like our funnels don't work. And that's why I wrote that blog post. It's not that funnels don't work, that's a one-hit wonder strategy. It's like trying to buy a lottery ticket, right? Yeah. And saying, okay, I hope this is the winning number. But you can't do that. You got to have blog posts that is like really good content. Get that out to your audience. So say, for example, I'm a business owner. You're a branding expert. You want to get in front of me. But you only want to get in front of not everybody who's an entrepreneur. You want to get in front of people that are into the soulful branding, right? You want to get into people that are into spirituality, that are into purpose, that are into, maybe they read books by Louise Hay and Wayne Dyer, and maybe Gabby Bernstein, and maybe they subscribe to the Daily Arm, or they go to Kripalu or whatever, or they eat a certain way. Right, so these are your audience that you can find online. So you serve your ad to people that fulfill these characteristics, right? But they also, not only that, because not all those people are going to be business people. So in a Facebook ad, you would want to go target those people. So people that like Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer, Gabby Bernstein, Tony Robbins, and like Krapala, but they also like things like MailChimp or Hootsuite. Why? Because those are programs people got to typically subscribe to if they're running a business. Or is there a big marketing or business convention that people go to, right? Or is there a business leader? So then they like these 2 or 3 things. And then you go serve your ads to them or serve your content to them, right? So your favorite Facebook video, your blog article, plus an ad to come download your ebook, plus an ad to sign up for your webinar. So what actually happens is that person starts seeing your face, your content multiple times in different forms, right? And all we're trying to do is get attention. We're just trying to get people's attention. We're attention hogs. We're competing for attention. So if I pull up my social media, right, and if I go to Instagram, first of all, I've got all these images of my friends and family and people taking pictures. This guy's got a picture of a peace sign on a wall somewhere, and the snow's fallen in Connecticut. Then I've got an ad. Then I've got somebody taking a picture of their cocktail. Then somebody taking a picture of their painting that they've done. Somebody's got a picture of their kid. Then somebody's got a Christmas tree wreath. And then somebody's got a selfie in the bathroom. Why do they always do that?
I don't know.
Why? Why the bathroom? Good lighting, I guess. And then I've got an ad. He has an ad about Santa Claus shaking his head. Now there's a whole lot of Santas dancing. Okay, that's quite a good ad because that's going to get my attention. That's a thumb stopper. It's going to stop me scrolling because people are just scrolling with their thumbs. Okay? So, and that's for that promo stuff, by the way. Those are cool videos. Right? So
back on and talk more about.
Yeah, so what we want to do is understand who we are, who our audience is, where they hang out, get in front of them and get their attention. So many people are trying to make that sale right there in their Facebook or in that one ad. They're trying to get people to join their business or subscribe, join their course right there. And that's not the game. The game is get their attention. Just say, okay, so should we go even deeper?
Sure.
Okay, so there's something about human relationships. There's a book, I can't remember the author's name, but there's 12 steps to human relationships, right?
Yeah.
From not knowing that person to full-blown intimacy. 12 steps. And he studied humans, us. And so what happens is, in order for us from going from complete strangers to full-blown intimacy, is that there's typically 12 steps. There's the eye contact, a smile, touching your hand, hugging, kissing, blah, 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 blah. You got to go through those 12 steps, right? But you can skip steps. But there's only a maximum of 2 steps that you can skip. So for example, say I walk into a bar, and I walk into the bar and I look across the room, I'm scanning for my friends and I see this beautiful woman there. Pretend I'm still in my 20s, I'm not married, I'm still just
okay.
I'm just, I'm single.
Long, flowing blonde hair.
Yeah, exactly. So I see you across there, I say, oh, she's nice, that's just eye contact. And at the same time we have eye contact, that's fine. And then I might go speak to my friends, and I might, walk past the girl and give her a smile, whatever. And then I might see her at the bar, and then I might go up to her later and, try to strike up a conversation. And if everything goes well, hey, can I buy you a drink? We might have a conversation. We might exchange phone numbers, or she might touch me on my shoulder. I might touch her on her hand. So there's these steps, right, that we got to take from here, not knowing each other, to full-blown intimacy. Now, those 12 steps could happen in 10 minutes, or they could happen over 10 years, right? As some people do. They get married and then, but they've known each other since school, but they never really connected fully, right? But if I walked into the bar and I didn't go through those 12 steps, but I skipped more than 2 steps, if I just caught contact with a girl we looked at each other and maybe smiled, but then I walked straight up to her to try kiss her. What do you think's going to happen?
Gonna get slapped.
Exactly. So this is the same thing about your marketing, right? With our ads, with our blog posts, with our stuff, we're just trying to say, hey, how you doing? My name's Kenneth. Pleased to meet you. Okay. But people are going in there like mouth open. Give me a kiss, right? Banish the thought. Seriously. So there's this whole process to it. And so, that's what you need to be doing. And the people that I've worked with, not just network marketers, magazine companies that I worked with, jewelers that I worked with, psychologists that I worked with, healers that I've worked with, those companies, so people that are just earning 6 figures, people that are earning 7 figures by themselves, and companies that are earning $10 million plus, these people are obsessed with consistency, obsessed with getting their brand and their name out there. And so that's the commonality between those people, and from all different walks of life and all different business types. So that's what you should be thinking every single day, is how can I get my content out there? How can I get people to become aware of my name, and aware of my stuff? But you can't just give out any stuff. It's got to be stuff that speaks to your audience. It's got to add value. It's got to give them a result. So here's something for you. You want to get the attention. Then you want to create interest. Then you want to create desire. Then you want to get them to take action. That action is either purchase the product, sign up for your webinar, give you their name and email address for your ebook, whatever. Okay, so it's this consistency over time. So every single day in my journal, I'm saying to myself, okay, you need cold leads every single day. So there's cold leads, warm leads, hot leads. You've got to take people through this life cycle, and there's more to that, but I won't get into too much detail now. So every day I'm looking at myself here. What do I have to do to get more cold traffic into my business? Right? How do I get more people? So I've got quite a good following now of people that know me and know me well, right? That if I send out emails, they typically buy from me and they join my courses. And if not, they say, hey, please, when are you doing this again? I want to jump in. Okay, so how can I get more people like that warm and hot audience? So I've got to go out there and find those people. So like right here now is I know that I have my online stuff that runs automatically, but I also do manual stuff. Right? The nature of my business. So I reach out to people, 5 people, every single day on LinkedIn, different industries, whatever. And big companies too, I reach out to them. And so that's my approach. And it's not necessarily to reach out to them to say, I've taken a completely different approach to the way that I used to do this on LinkedIn 3-4 years ago. I used to go out there with like this full-on copyright, 100% bulletproof copyright. Hey, I'm going to double your sales. I can do that, blah, blah, blah. Now it's just I reach out to people. Hey, how you doing? How can I add value? What do you need something with? I just try to build relationships like that. And so that's what works for me. So every day I'm obsessed by that. And then I'm thinking about it. I've stuck myself to a content schedule, right? Which I shared with you, which is a little bit
aggressive. Yeah.
It's a little bit obscene, actually. But I'll give you an idea. Shall I tell the people or not?
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like I'm speaking too much about myself.
No, this is why we're listening. Why you're here. So it's perfect.
So to give you an example, so why am I going to share this with you now? Because I believe that there's just too much noise online. So you have to stand out. And when I say stand out, I don't mean that you have to go dye your hair purple and get a face tattoo unless that's your thing. If that's your thing, cool. But too many people are trying to stand out just for the sake of standing out. The best way to stand out is be authentic. And the best way to stand out is put out high value content, relevant content. And also remember context versus content. What do I mean by that? Well, the content that you're putting out on Facebook can't be the same content that you put on Instagram. People are consuming it different ways. The same thing that you can't put the content that you're putting on Facebook on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn's a business platform. You can't put the same content on YouTube. Even Facebook stories as opposed to Facebook, or Instagram stories as opposed to Instagram, it's different. When you go to stories, you're used to seeing people, you can be more childish, right? Because people are putting those funny faces and their masks on, they scribble, and so you can get away with that. But as you're marketing your brand, you can do that funny stuff on there. So context versus content. So the reason why I've come up with this aggressive strategy, which I've been pursuing, is just to be omnipresent, to be in as many places I can, so people get to see me. Who is this guy? I want to own a space. I want people, when they think of mindful marketing or thinking of marketing and being authentic, that they think of me. Now, that might take me 5 years, it might take me 10 years, it might take me 5 months. I don't know. So I have certain goals and stuff. But in terms of my personal content, what does that entail? That entails 5 blog posts a week for me. It implies doing 1 live webinar every single week, and it has 4 emails per week. That's excluding the emails that are associated with the webinar, which can be up to 8 emails, right? I do anything between 45 and 60 posts just on Facebook alone, right? That resonates with my audience, and that's just on one platform. Then I got to replicate that for LinkedIn and Instagram, etc. So it's a very aggressive strategy. Do you need to do that? No, but I'm just showing you, the way that I'm viewing it in terms of being omnipresent. And so that's like one extreme, and then you can dial that all the way down and just say, okay, what can I manage now? Well, I can manage 1 blog post a week, or 1 every 2 weeks. I can do 1 Facebook Live every 2 weeks, because those of you who are moms out there that are busy, if you put out, when you put out a content, just put out high quality content and then market that. The blog, the video, the lead magnet, like a cheat sheet or download, plus your webinar. Then you've got 4 pieces of good content just working and in front of that audience the whole time, And another good strategy is just taking a social media post that works well and boost it for $1 a day for 7 days. And with Facebook, you can even target people in certain industries. So you can really zone in, if you think some of your audience are corporate people who work at Google or Apple, you can go target those people, right? And in certain positions. So there's a lot of things that you can do in just terms of being relevant and seen online.
So cool, Kenneth. And I love your approach to it. It's just invaluable. So thank you for taking us behind the scenes a little bit to see that more in depth. And I was wondering if, kind of in bringing all of this to a close for a minute, if you wouldn't mind sharing, just maybe even from the heart, of just why this matters, right? Like why, of course we need to market ourselves, and you've done such a good job of sharing that, but like, why does it matter? Why? I feel like maybe I'm not being clear, but like, you know what I mean? Like
Why do I do the things, or why does it matter that I put the stuff out?
Like, why does it matter in the bigger picture? Like, why does it matter to each of us to really stop hiding and to really like step up and market ourselves, or what we're sharing in the world? Why?
Yeah. Okay. So that's awesome, right? That's a great question, because, okay, now I can get like a little bit spiritual with you guys.
Yes.
Okay. It's your duty, right? It's your responsibility as a human being to create, right? To create a better version of yourself, to create a better life. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. We come into this world to grow. In order to grow, you have to challenge yourself. You have to step out of your comfort zone. You're going to get hammered. You're going to get smacked down. You're going to get illnesses that you never chose. You're going to have relationships that break down that you never wanted. You're going to lose your money and make it back. You're going to go through poverty. You're going to go through all sorts of challenges through your life, right? And so if you think of this universe, right, is that we're all made of the same stuff. We all come of the same stuff. If you put a microscope and you drill down, through the skin of ours, we all come down to that same sort of, atom. We're made up of energy, right? That energy just, moves into different form, right? So this universe is constantly expanding. It's constantly creating. It wants to create. It wants to create life. Its purpose is to survive and just keep multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. It's the reason, why acorns turn into oak trees. It's a reason why there's animals running around that, their thing is to, I look at my little dog. So we got these two Morkies, and the male is like 3.5 pounds, like a strong wind would blow him off his feet, right? But this guy knows how to mate. And so sometimes I'm just thinking, where does this come from? But it's programmed in his subconscious mind. He's there to make sure that his breed carries on surviving after him. We're here to create. So we're not here to sit around, and that's why, technology, people complain about technology. There's a good thing and there's a bad thing, right? It just depends on, for kids and that, it's something that we're concerned about, but there's also fantastic elements to it. But you're here to create, and that creation takes multiple forms, right? And so you're here to evolve and become a better person. That's why you have relationship challenges. That's why you have financial challenges. That's why you have health challenges. That's why you have challenges with your business, And when I say to you, it's your obligation and duty, it really is, because this universe is trying to express itself through you, right? You are the only way that universe can express itself is through physical form, right? It moves from one form to the next, and it's going to use you. You are the conduit. You are the channel to create. So you might be creating as a writer. You might just be, and I say just be, you might just be a stay-at-home mom, but that's important, right? Because you're helping mold somebody. You're making a positive difference in this world, and raising a child, making an impact. That child, just think of the ripple effect. Just think what you do with that child. That child goes and speaks to kids on the playground and school in a certain way, which impact those kids in a negative or positive way. The way that your child acts to a teacher is going to impact that teacher. So either make that teacher feel great or feel like crap. She's going to go home if she's stressed out and feel like crap. She's going to take it out on her kids. It's just like woof, woof, woof. Everything is connected. And so it's our duty, and especially as entrepreneurs, that entrepreneurial bug and doing that is because you want that flexibility. You want that freedom. And, it's about time. I mean, we're very fortunate. Like, our grandparents didn't have this opportunity just to be business owners and create and become entrepreneurs like we can now, right? So, we have this huge opportunity, and it's there for a reason. So embrace it. It's going to make you a better person, and it's going to help you step out of your comfort zone. And you might not think that you have a story, but you do have a story, and it's important that people hear it. Marketing is all about sharing a story. So just, I can't say this strongly enough, but damn, just get out of your own way and just go out there and, just let yourself friggin', elevate yourself and let yourself shine. It has to be done, and take every single knock as growth, and think, yes, frig, I'm going to be stronger tomorrow. Because of that, every challenge makes you stronger. Every challenge, that you overcome is just, every day at work allows you to grow and grow and grow and grow. So it's just go create and grow.
So good. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for sharing. That's exactly what I was hoping. Well, I mean, and more that I was hoping you would share. So I know at this point, of a lot of you listening to Kenneth and hearing more about just his mindset, his approach to marketing and why it matters might be having that bug of, I got to do something now. I got to do something about this. And so I would love to give you guys the opportunity to hear just briefly about some options that Kenneth has. If any of you were feeling compelled to work more closely with him, I can't highly recommend him enough. So Kenneth, would you mind sharing just a little bit of that?
Sure. Well, I appreciate that, Quinn. Seriously. So thank you. If
Yeah.
you want to find out more about me right now, I'm running around with 2 websites and a couple of Facebook pages, but you could either find me at kennethtodd.com and Gaia Media Group, GAIA mediagroup.com. And so I'm busy working on both those sites at the moment, but so excuse the mess while you're playing. And Quinn's helping me with my branding, but I haven't implemented anything that she's taught me yet. And it's going to be, over the next 6 months, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool.
Okay. And you have an incredible program called the Mindful Marketing School that is one of your offerings, as well as private, being able to work with you privately as well. But I think your program is just awesome and killer. So and that's a great price point for a lot of people listening to.
Yeah, I used to have the Mindful Marketing Academy, which was a 1-year program, which was pretty high level, and well, that's coming to an end now. And I'm not offering that one again. But I am doing the Mindful Marketing School. So that's a compressed 12-week program, mentorship, coaching, accountability, all that kind of fun stuff. And it combines the 2 things together. And there's another element which I never spoke about called spiritual hustle. So yeah, you can go to mindfulmarketingschool.com.
Awesome.
And check it out.
Awesome. And I love too how you stay really on top of what's really working and what are the big trends in the market. And so even you mentioned emails and all sorts of things, but one of your strengths and things that you're really loving sharing with your students and your clients is working with Facebook bots and that kind of piece, which is a whole other big topic. But I just wanted anybody listening, if you've been hearing a rumor about that or thinking, there's probably something there. I have never seen anybody's strategy as solid and as mindful and showing up to serve as Kenneth's. And so he'd be a great asset to you if you're wanting to explore that.
Yeah, thanks, Quinn. That's awesome. Yeah, those Facebook bots it's email marketing 2.0. It's the next stage. Massive open rates, massive engagement, and just remember those 12 steps. It helps, right? That's what it's doing. Build relationships. So cool.
Yeah, man. Well, Kenneth, it's been so great to have you on the show. I love to do a kind of rapid fire round of questions. And
okay.
Are you up for that really quick?
Of course. As long as you haven't got sick of my voice yet, that's fine.
No, all good. Okay, so I want you to just answer with the quickest thing that comes to your mind, okay?
Okay.
We're looking for joyful living, kind of describing a little bit of what it looks like in each of these main areas. So the first would be joyful living with your friends.
What does that mean? So just like one word about that?
Like, what are your favorite things? What is the most joy when you're with friends?
Just laughing.
Love it.
About silly stuff. That's I don't drink alcohol, so I can't say partying or anything like that. It's just about laughing, having fun.
I love it. Okay, how about joy with your family?
Just hugs and deep connection.
Love it. Love it. And you guys do that a lot in nature too, which is so fun.
Yeah, we do spend a lot of time outdoors.
Yeah. Oh, okay. How about joy with your wife?
Spirituality and being silly. We're pretty childish, actually.
That's so good. Okay. How about joy on your own, like solo time?
What I think of is growth and going beyond my boundaries and legacy.
I love that. And then last but not least, joy with the divine.
Peace.
Those moments of peace.
Yeah,
Love it.
it's my sanctuary.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So good. Thank you so much, Kenneth. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to add? Just bringing it all together, or anything you wish we would have asked or talked to you about?
Well, there's nothing that I wish, but, I just want to say thanks so much. I haven't known you for very long, but the short time that I have known you, I've really enjoyed it. I've connected with you well. You really helped me bring my brands together, my little entities together. But that work that we did with the business level, I mean, so you're a machine. I mean, which is, in my language, is beyond rock star. So you have a special quality, right? And what I love about you is your authenticity, and you're not just another, what I call sort of an Instagram brand. Then there's a lot of branding specialists and that Instagram look where everything's perfect and stuff. And so for you, like that deep work that you did with me in terms of my branding and stuff, what that did was also gave me clarity in my personal life. It gave me clarity in terms of legacy, cementing my legacy, what I actually want to create, right? And helping define that even clearer than I had it before. So you sort of took me up another level. So I just want to acknowledge you for that and thank you for that.
Oh, thank you so much. That means so much, Kenneth.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Oh, thank you. Well, this has just been pure joy to have you on the show. And as you can see from all that we've covered, everybody listening, Kenneth is just a wealth of knowledge, especially in the areas of marketing and mindful living, and especially in bringing those worlds together. So thank you for sharing your time with us today, Kenneth, and bringing this. And thank you to all of you listening. And we're so grateful for that opportunity, and so grateful for the trust that you've placed in us to give this time and listening to this show. And we hope that it really blesses you in your business and in your life.
For sure. Thanks, Gwen, and thanks everybody for listening to me for so long. I appreciate it.
So good. So good. Awesome.
Okay.
Well,
Awesome.
We'll be talking to you guys soon, and thank you, and cheering you on, and so much joy in every aspect of your life. Talk to you soon. Bye.
And in the end, only love will last.
You've been listening to Joyful Living. If you haven't already done so, be sure to email me at quinn@joyfullivingmovement.com so I can send you our yummy Joyful Living welcome package filled with lots of awesomeness, including access to our private Joyful Living network. I read every email from my listeners and would love to hear from you. Also, be sure to leave a review on iTunes, and most importantly, have a joy-filled day.